Hello, my loves, and welcome to another ASMR Reiki session. Today's session will be on activating and reconnecting to your intuition. We all have intuition within us. It's not reserved for a few lucky people. It's just that, especially in the Western society, we really value logic and we favor logic a lot of times over intuition. But logic and intuition are two sides to a spectrum, and we need both to be able to make sound decisions in our lives. So today's video will be on intuition. So if you find yourself really doubting your intuition, or you feel like you don't even have a connection to it at all, then hopefully this video will help you. Before we get started, I want to let you know what kind of ASMR triggers you can expect for today's video, in case you're watching this before going to sleep and I don't want to accidentally wake you up with any of these triggers. So we have some tuning forks, which we'll start off the healing with. So that will be the loudest sound for the video today. But we'll also have some crystal healing, and I'll be tapping on the crystals as well. So if you know that any of these sounds prevent you from falling asleep, maybe click on the playlist above, which has videos with only soothing sounds, or just find another video that would suit you a little better. So let's get started with the healing. So we have different centers in our body that hold wisdom and intuition. We have our sacral center, which holds our gut feeling, our gut intuition. And I kind of see that as our earthly intuition, the intuition that came with this earthly body that we were born into. Then we have our heart, which contains a lot of wisdom and a lot of intuition as well. And then we have our third eye, which contains our sense of inner knowing. Most of the time it's a sort of quiet, soft voice in the back of your mind that maybe tells you, like, I think this is right, I think I should do this, but it's not very loud. It's a very sort of quiet, steady voice that comes from a very centered place. A lot of times it's also not a logical thing at all. It's the part of us that says, like, oh, maybe I should turn the street instead of the way I usually go to work. Whereas our gut feeling in our sacral is very physical. It's like getting a feeling in your stomach. You get a physical sensation, or maybe you get goosebumps. And then the last center in our body is our crown, and that's through which we receive divine guidance, which sometimes will trickle down to our third eye and appear as this inner knowing. So we have different parts of the body that can hold wisdom for us, and so for today we're going to be activating your whole body and just bringing you back into balance, because intuition is a natural part of being here on earth, of being human. So it doesn't really have to be complex. We can just rebalance the whole body, and that in itself will already help you with your intuition and connecting to it. So the first thing we're going to do is connect in with your heart, which is the master sage, the master healer of our body. And I also kind of like to call it the master judge, in the sense that if you don't know if something that you think is intuition, or maybe it's fear, what you can do is filter it through your heart And then see if it really feels like intuition or whether the decision you're about to make is coming from a place of fear instead. So just take a moment to connect in with the frequency of this tuning fork, which is attuned to your heart. If you can't hear it, you might have to wear headphones. Just connect into the sound. Allow it to connect to your heart. And then bring the seat of your awareness to your heart center. Becoming aware of how the space around your heart feels. Does it feel open? Does it feel constricted or tense? Allow the vibrations of the tuning fork to soften this place of your body, to soften your heart, and to soften the energetic blockages that you have, maybe around it. And then start to see your life through your heart. Meaning, look at your life, look at yourself through the energy of your own heart. If there is a specific thing that you need help with, that you need direction with, ask your heart. Your heart can pull information from your sacral and your third eye and beyond to help you. Allowing the vibrations to crack you open to the wisdom that is within you. Sometimes the answer that we're looking for is not the loudest in our head. A lot of times the loudest things that we hear in our mind are actually fear-based, where there is a lot of emotion behind it. And the things that we know are actually the right answer, the right thing we should do, are usually a bit more quiet. But we can feel their truth. Deep down we know what we should do. Just give yourself permission to trust your own guidance. Now we'll be doing a bit more energy removal before we get into the Reiki and the healing, just to make sure that those are not interfering with the healing that we'll be doing. So I'll be using some incense today. I'll be using the smoke of these incense to flush out any energies that interfere with our ability to hear and connect to our intuition, whether it's the intuition coming from our gut, our heart, our third eye. If there's anything in specific that you want guidance with from your own intuition, you can bring that question to mind now, in case you haven't received an answer yet during the heart activation. I'll be using this feather that I found here in Ibiza to help smudge the smoke all around your body. And with it, we remove any energies blocking us from connecting to our intuition. Whether we have been told that our intuition is not trustworthy, or whether we are afraid of following it, or maybe in some past lifetimes we have been punished in some way for being intuitive. Maybe it was frowned upon. Either way, we're letting all of that go. There is a lot of merit, a lot of wisdom to be found in our intuition. So we're just letting these energies go. I also feel called to mention that a lot of times intuition precedes knowledge. Some of our greatest scientists, like Einstein, Nikola Tesla, actually relied on their intuition when they were stuck with a certain problem and they couldn't figure it out through logic. They used their intuition to guide them forward. There's also a really great book called The Cosmic Serpent by Jeremy Narby. It doesn't per se talk about intuition, but it talks about how our body receives and emits information to the environment around us through light, which takes hold or happens at the level of our DNA. It's a really interesting read if you're interested, and it just shows how much more complex and magical this life truly is and how little we know about life. It shows that there is knowledge around us that we can tap into through other senses than just our 5 basic senses. So, just wanted to mention that for those of you who are very stuck in the logical paradigm. Again, logic is great. It's a very great tool to have, but we don't want to forget about our intuition and completely put intuition to the side. They're both really helpful. Okay. This incense will continue to burn. I'm just going to put it off to the side here. In case I haven't mentioned, it's a vanilla incense, so it smells very sweet, very cozy and relaxing, homey. Okay, so let's get started with our healing. I will be placing this rose quartz at your heart center to help activate and strengthen the energies of your heart so that it's easier for you to connect to it. And then at the same time, I will be using this fluorite point to draw symbols, Reiki symbols into your aura to help activate and balance the energies in your aura. So we'll be feathering this energy to your heart center. So this one will be right by your heart. Chakra, chakra, chakra. Just gently pressing that into your aura. Silke, Silke, Silke. Chakra, chakra, chakra. There you go. And then we'll be using this lemurian seed crystal, and I will be infusing your whole energy field with the frequency of this crystal. And this crystal is quite special. There's a beautiful myth or folklore around it that the lines that you can find on these lemurian seed crystals are wisdom or knowledge that have been inscribed into the quartz structure of this crystal of the Lemurian civilization. So if you want to, you could even tap into the frequency, the knowledge inscribed into this crystal. We're just going to smooth this over your whole aura to help you reconnect to the wisdom and the knowledge all around you. The wisdom and the knowledge of your own heart, your own intuition. If I notice any little bits of energies that are still blocking your intuition, I'll be plucking those for you as well. If you find it very hard to step out of your logical mind, then you can actually use your logical mind to prove the existence of your intuition. You could hold a little journal close to you at all times and write down your intuitive hits, the intuition that comes through, and then just check every time that intuition actually happens in real life as well, when your intuition was right. And that way you'll get to see that actually your intuition a lot of times is right. Again, if you're not sure whether something that pops up in your mind is coming from a place of fear or a place of deep inner wisdom and intuition, just filter it through your heart. Ask your heart which one it is. And just learn to trust yourself a little bit more. Okay. That's it, my loves. I hope that you enjoyed this healing. I'll see you guys very soon on Wednesday for another one.